All right, they want me to sketch this graph, and remember I said to change the instructions and you should only sketch 2 full periods of the graph labeling your axes. Or to save time here, I've already put my axes together. Here is my toolkit function. Since this is a cosine, this is going to be a cosine. Starts up at the maximum, comes down to the minimum, and ends back up at the maximum. I have 3 different transformations here. I have this -1 times, that's being multiplied there. So that is an x-axis reflection. So that means that instead of starting up at the top, I'm going to start at the bottom and be doing this. Then the other thing that I have going on is I have this +1 that's outside. So that means it's moving up 1. That's my midline. So my midline is going to be right along here. And then finally, the last transformation that I have here is this plus pi/3. It's being added inside. So that means we're shifting to the left, pi/3. So instead of starting here at 0, we're going to start to the left at pi/3. So pi/3, I don't know, maybe about right there, I'm guessing. That might be more like pi/4, but so that's where I'm going to start to the left. So from the midline, which is at 1, I am going to reflect in the x-axis. So generally I would start up at a maximum, but I'm going to go down to a minimum. So instead of going up to 2, I'm going to reflect and come down here beyond that x-axis. And then remember what I do is I graph the last point. That last point, which would be normally at pi/2, is also shifting to the left pi/3, and it's repeating itself right there. Halfway in between, which would be just a little bit to the left of pi, I'm going to have a maximum value that's up 1 unit. And then halfway in between those, I'm going to cross over the x-axis, in this case my midline. Draw my graph. There is my 1 period of my graph. And then to make my 2nd period of the graph, I just follow that same pattern. And there it is. Generally, our shifts left and right are going to stay right on the quadrant angles and not shift to these angles that are a little weird. Okay, then they want me to draw or write an equation of the sine function. It tells me that in the instructions. I'm sorry, they do not want me to draw an equation. They want me to determine the amplitude, midline, and period. Oh, and an equation, there it is, involving the sine function. So since I know that this is a sine function, I know that my normal sine function would start right here. I'm going to just ignore everything that's on here. It would start right here and it would come up and then go down and then come up like that. That's what my normal sine function would look like. So what I'm seeing here is right about there is where my midline is at. So my midline then is -3. My amplitude is the distance between the midline and a maximum value, so my amplitude is going to be 2. So I have an amplitude of 2. My midline is -3. And then they want to know the period of the graph. So remember, with my period, my formula is 2 pi divided by b. B is what I need to know for my equation. But right now they just want to know the period of my graph. So my period starts at 0. It ends right here at 4. And so my period is 4. So they asked for those 3 things. So there's those 3 answers. And then they want me to take that and convert it into an equation. Okay. First of all, the amplitude is A. The midline is D. We did not shift to the left or right at all, so C is 0. And then the last thing I need to know what B is. Well, B is not 4. My period is equal to 4. So that's equal to 4. 2 pi over B is equal to 4. If I want to know what B is to put it here, I'm going to have to solve this equation. So I'm going to multiply both sides by B, divide both sides by 4, reduce that fraction, and B equals pi over 2. So that goes in place right there. So there's that equation. And then finally, the last one here, 31, they tell me in the instructions to let f of x equal the sine of x, and they want to know on this interval only, so they're saying on the unit circle, solve this equation, f of x, which is the sine of x, equal to 0. So they want to know the angles whose sine value is 0, from 0 to pi over 2. So here's my unit circle. Oops, not a very good circle there. So there's from 0 to 2 pi. I think I kept saying pi over 2, I apologize. From 0 to 2 pi. And they want to know all the places where my sine value is equal to 0. So this is in other words for saying y value is equal to 0. So where is this y value equal to 0? Well, my y value is equal to 0 at, not here, that's 1 comma, oh wait, yes, there. A rotation of 0 gives me this ordered pair. Not here, pi over 2, I have 0 comma negative 1. Oh no, y value does not equal 0 there. Not here at pi, my ordered pair is negative 1, 0. Oh wait, the y value is 0, so it equals it there. Not here at 3 pi over 2, I go over 0, down 1, my y value, oh, this should have been a positive 1. My y value here is a negative 1, so not there. And when I come all the way back around, obviously my y value there is 0. So I end up with 0, pi, and 2 pi as my solutions. But notice up here, they tell me I can include 0, I cannot include 2 pi because of the parentheses there mean do not include 2 pi. So my only angles whose rotation gives me a sine value of 0 is at 0 and pi.